Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to share my review of the 20th anniversary edition of the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition Player's Book from Pinnacle Entertainment Group. This is written by Shane Hensley with Clint Black. This 160-page softcover is available now. It carries an MSRP of $19.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $7.99. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the player's book for the 20th anniversary of Savage Worlds. A few things to mention before we get stuck in. First of all, my friends over at Pinnacle Entertainment Group were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this review with you. These days, it's very important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the player's book, but I do want to give you a really good feel for what you're going to find inside. And then lastly, the player's book for Savage Worlds Adventure Edition has been out previously. So to my knowledge, nothing has really changed. This funded in a 20th anniversary Kickstarter. That's why I'm calling it the 20th anniversary edition. So there were some new covers which were available. But to my knowledge, the content within is the same as the previous print run of the player's book. So first thing we're going to do, let's take a look at the credits page because there were a lot of folks who worked very hard to bring this to life. Let's make sure we give credit where credit is due. This is the player-facing book for Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, or as people like to refer to it, SWADE. So as I mentioned, this content is the same as the previous player's book, as far as I understand. And also, this is the same as the core rule book, except all the Game Master facing content has been trimmed out. So this gives you everything you need as far as a player to get started with SWADE. And if you're curious about my review of Savage Worlds Adventure Edition's core rulebook, I do have a review video of that. You can feel free to check that out. And spoiler alert, I like Savage Worlds quite a lot. So we're going to have our 5 different attributes. And the way the mechanics of Savage Worlds Adventure Edition works is that you have a target number. It is normally 4. And you're going to roll your attribute die as well as a wild die. And you're looking to equal 4 or higher in order to succeed. Now, as far as your attributes start off, they're at a D4, so not too great at anything. But the thing is, you also have 5 points you can spend to bump those dice. So if you wanted to, you could start off a character with every attribute at a D6, and the attributes are agility, smarts, vitality, strength, and agility. Those are the 5 attributes. We also have hindrances to make your characters more interesting. We've got various different hindrances. We have edges, which are abilities that the characters will have. We have traits. We also have powers, depending on what sort of genre you're playing in. So we've got that. So everything you need to pretty much get involved in practically any genre of Savage Worlds Adventure Edition is right here at your fingertips. And I like it quite a bit that this is offloading a lot of the responsibilities of the game master as far as teaching somebody how to play or going through character creation and providing the players with various different options as far as their edges and hindrances, traits, powers, etc. This will tremendously help out with that. So, to my knowledge, I have been told that when Savage Worlds originally came out back in 2003, for the first few years, I guess the rules were relatively inexpensive. So, game masters would go and they would purchase additional copies of the core rule book to give to the players at their table to make the game master's life easier and to help the players with how to play the game, creating characters, so on and so forth. Now, the most recent print edition of the core rulebook carries an MSRP of $39.99, if I recall correctly. So that'd be a little pricey for the game master to be putting copies of that in everybody's hands around their game table. So that's where the player's book comes in because you are looking at 160-page softcover, $19.99. Or if you want to just grab the PDF, it's $7.99. So pretty nice deal. Now, you've got, once again, everything a player needs essentially in this book. So it isn't only, oh, here's your character creation rules. No, we get bunch of gear, same gear and equipment section that we find in the core rulebook. We also get a breakdown of certain aspects of play. So we'll get a breakdown of, okay, exactly how do you play SWADE? And as I mentioned, you are going to roll your attribute die as well as your wild die. You may have bonuses because of your traits and powers and edges. So it may not necessarily be just your attribute die that you're rolling. So that could be a little different there. And then we do have what are known as exploding dice, although here it's called aces. So if you happen to roll the highest number on a die, you get to roll it again and add that to the total. And if you happen to get the highest face on the die again, you get to roll it again. So we'll have what are called raises. So essentially, what it is how successful were you at what you're attempting to do, or how badly have you hurt your target in combat? So, as an example, if somebody rolled dice and they end up with an 8, maybe they had a die explode, maybe they had a bonus, what have you, then that is actually one raise. So, for every 4 over 4, it's a raise. So this is not necessarily rules light as far as role playing games go, but I will also point out that it's not the crunchiest set of role playing game rules by any stretch of the imagination. But as you can see, we even get information about various different aspects of the game, like allies, chases, dramatic tasks, which is a little more detailed, a little more in depth than just your standard success or failure. Usually, dramatic tasks are something that's going to take a longer period of time. But as you can see, we've got all that information in the adventure toolkit. What's not in this book, once again, are pretty much the game master facing aspects of the core rulebook, such as the bestiary. The bestiary is not in here. How to run the game, that is not in here. We do have the power section. So if you were looking to play a superhero role playing game, or maybe a fantasy role playing setting, then you would be utilizing powers. Now, as an example, if you were going to be playing, say, Deadlands, then you really aren't going to be utilizing too many powers. Should point out, I have reviewed the Pathfinder for Savage Worlds Ultimate Core box set, as well as the Deadlands box set. So if you're curious about those, check out those reviews. I've just recently shared unboxing videos for Pine Box Texas Middle School and Necessary Evil. I do have reviews of those on the horizon as well. But as you can see, this book is just absolutely jam-packed with goodness for the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition player. All right, so that's a peek at the book. Let's swing on over to the other camera so I can share some final thoughts and my review score. If you happen to see my review video of the SWADE core rulebook, you already know I really like Savage Worlds, and I think it really achieves what it sets out to do, and that is to provide a fast and furious, pulpy sort of action role playing system. So, of course, obviously enough, there are certain genres that Savage Worlds is going to be a better fit for than others. And of course, I have reviewed a couple of those settings and I really like those too. Obviously enough, if I really like the core rule book, then of course I'm going to really like the player's book because all of the content within is the same except for having the game master sections trimmed out. So definitely like this too. So, on a scale of 0 to 10, I give the 20th anniversary Savage Worlds Adventure Edition Player's Book an 8.5 out of 10, which just happens to be the same review score I gave the core rule book. So, I definitely recommend it. I think it will serve its purpose for players and come in very, very handy. Now, do I think each and every player needs to have a copy? Probably not. But players can share it around your game table and they will be all set. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this review, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. And until I see you next time, certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.